If you could go back to that moment and show someone ChatGPT today, to say nothing of Codex or anything else, but just ChatGPT, I think most people would say that's AGI for sure.
That's Sam Altman, OpenAI CEO, part-time futurist, and full-time breaker of the internet every time he speaks about AGI. And when Sam talks about timelines, the world listens, partly because we're excited, and partly because we're wondering if we should be stocking up on canned beans. Imagine time traveling back to 2020. You whip out ChatGPT, and within 2 minutes, half the room is frantically rewriting their resumes for jobs that still exist. And the other half is on YouTube watching How to Speak Fluent Machine in 30 Days. Sam's point? We already crossed the wow, that's something line, and nobody rang the alert bell. The exponential ride. Sam casually dropped a bombshell that had the entire tech world either celebrating or having existential crises. And honestly, I'm not sure which camp I'm in yet. And here's where it gets spicy. The cost of using AI has been dropping about 10 times every single year. That's like if the iPhone went from $999 to please take 2 for free and have a charger, AirPods, and an iPad in 3 years.
You watch this thing, you can give it a bunch of tasks, it goes and works in the background.
Sam is saying, the Codex demo isn't a chatbot. It's the unpaid intern who actually gets work done without spilling Evian water on the server rack. Today it's, here's your intern. Tomorrow, agents with the horsepower of thousands of interns, fueled by compute power that's scaling faster than your caffeine intake before finals. And Sam's already thinking bigger. Give them that power, and they might figure out what to do with it faster than we can. That's the part that gives him the AGI chill. Here's another mindbender. OpenAI is planning to ship 100 million units of their screenless AI companion device by late 2026. 100 million. That's like giving every third American a pocket-sized artificial brain. What could possibly go wrong?
Sam, Sridhar, what advice would you have for enterprise leaders navigating the AI landscape in 2025?
I think just do it.
Sam is not Nike, but his advice? Spot on. Companies that iterate fast win. The rest watch like cautious cats, now outpaced by actual practices, not just tech. He has dropped his caution tape. Last year, he said big firms should experiment a bit. Now, go to work, use it, production ready. This isn't hype. Codex now feels like a real colleague, the reality check. Now, before we all start updating our LinkedIn profiles with official translator for human-to-robot small talk, let's pump the brakes and look at what's actually happening. The AI community is more divided than pineapple on pizza debates. While some experts are nodding along with Sam's timeline, others are calling it overly optimistic, which is PhD language for absolutely bonkers. And here's the thing that's keeping me up at night. Well, actually, nothing really keeps me up at night other than TikTok. But it sounds good when I say it. What keeps me up at night is, we don't even have a solid definition of AGI. It's like being asked to paint a masterpiece when half the people want abstract art, a quarter want photorealism, and the rest are convinced you should be sculpting instead. Some say AGI means human-level intelligence across all domains. Others say it's when AI can learn any task a human can learn. Meanwhile, current AI still struggles with what researchers call novel problems. Basically anything it hasn't seen before. Kind of like me trying to assemble IKEA furniture without the instructions. Even the godfathers of AI are side-eyeing these predictions harder than parents watching their teenager explain where they were last night.
Whether you declare the AGI victory in 24 or 26 or 28, and whether you declare the superintelligence victory in 28 or 30 or 32, is way less important than this one long, beautiful, shockingly smooth exponential.
Sam's not obsessed with planting the AGI flag. He's watching the curve. And that curve, it's sprinting in a tuxedo. Altman expects the next 5 years of AI progress to match the previous 5 years. You know what happened in the last 5 years? We went from AI that could barely recognize cats to AI that can write poetry, code software, and apparently have existential crises about its own existence. The workplace invasion. If you thought you or your intern worked hard, meet your AI assistant. AI agents are already acting like junior-level employees, assigning tasks to a bunch of agents, getting and giving feedback, drafting reports in seconds. The kind you'd normally spend a whole afternoon on politely ignoring your terrible ideas and only executing the ones that make sense. And by next year, we might have AI scientists finding actual breakthroughs. That's not fiction. With compute power plus out-of-this-world expectations, it's a predictable outcome. not an exaggeration of what's to come. We'll start to see agents that can help us discover new knowledge, non-trivial business problems. And at some point, an AI scientist that can discover new scientific breakthroughs. But here's where things get real. And by real, I mean potentially terrifying for your career prospects. Altman isn't just talking about smarter chatbots. He's talking about AI agents that can work autonomously for days without human intervention. Sam says, quote unquote, "We may see the first AI agents join the workforce and materially change the output of companies. Join the workforce, like they're just another new hire who happens to never need coffee breaks, vacation time, or performance reviews. These aren't your typical automation tools that replace factory jobs. We're talking about AI that could potentially handle creative tasks, strategic planning, and complex problem solving. Because apparently, we've moved past robots will take manual labor jobs, straight to robots will take literally everything." Here's a fun fact. The global AI market is expected to reach $1.8 trillion by 2030. Actually, not sure if that was a fun fact or a terrifying fact. That's more money than the GDP of Canada. We're literally building an economy around teaching machines to think and act, and somehow this feels completely normal now. The breathtaking promises. During the Snowflake Summit, Altman teased that upcoming AI behaviors will be breathtaking, which honestly could mean anything from solving climate change to figuring out why your Wi-Fi stops working every time you have an important Zoom call. But here's what's really wild. He's not just talking about incremental improvements. The dude is essentially claiming we're on the verge of creating digital consciousness, and your biggest concern is whether TikTok gets banned. Priorities, people, priorities. Currently, ChatGPT has over 100 million weekly active users. That's weekly, not monthly, in case you missed that. That's roughly the population of Mexico using AI to help with everything from homework to existential crises. And that's just one AI tool. There is Claude, Google Gemini, DeepSeek, Perplexity, Grok, and more. Basically, half the world is probably using an AI language model. The Skeptics Corner. Now, let's be real for a hot second. Tech CEOs aren't exactly known for their conservative predictions. These are the same people who promised us flying cars. And the best we got was cars that can parallel park themselves. Well, maybe just sometimes. The AI research community has a term for this. AI winter. Periods where overhyped promises crash into reality, harder than my motivation on Monday morning. Plus, there's the tiny little issue of AI alignment. Making sure super intelligent AI actually wants to help humans instead of, treating us like we treat ants. Here's a sobering thought. Recent studies show that current AI models still fail at novel mathematical reasoning tasks that human experts can solve. So we're supposed to believe we're months away from AGI. But AI can't figure out math problems it hasn't seen before? Make it make sense, Sam. The bottom line. Look, whether you think Altman is a visionary or just really good at generating hype, one thing is undeniable. AI development is accelerating faster than my heart rate during my first date. The million-dollar question is, are we ready for AI agents that can outthink us? Are our institutions prepared for the economic disruption? Are we emotionally ready to not be the smartest beings on the planet anymore? I guess there's more than one question. But if Altman is right, we're about to find out the hard way. And honestly, part of me is excited about the possibilities. AI solving climate change, curing diseases, maybe even figuring out why USB cables never plug in correctly on the first try. But another part of me is wondering if we're about to create our replacements and call it progress. Heh. So what do you think? Is Sam Altman a prophet of the AI age, or just another hype machine? Either way, this AGI timeline has me thinking about something even crazier. What happens when these AI systems start making their own predictions about the future? Trust me, if you thought today's timeline was wild, wait until you see what AI thinks about AI. Click that video now, because honestly, we might not have much time left before they're making these videos themselves.